This lesson is on proportions and scale models. Amy wants to enlarge a photo that is 3 inches wide and 2 inches tall. The enlarged photo keeps the same ratio. How tall is the enlarged photo if it is 7.5 inches wide? So here's the photo, and we can measure it, and we'll write down that it's 3 by 2. Our first step is we want to write down the scale photo ratio, or the ratio for the actual photo. And our second step is that we will also write down a ratio for the enlarged photo so that we can compare them. And we want to keep our labeling consistent. If we look at our question, we can just drop in our numbers. So for the actual photo, it's 2 by 3. And also from our question, we can pull in one more piece of information, which is how wide the enlarged photo is. Once we have those 3 pieces of information, we just solve the proportion. So how do we get from one ratio to another? We're going to multiply by a scale factor, which we find by doing our division on the side. You can check your work if you've tried it. And we find that that jump number, or the scale factor, is 2.5. So doing the same thing to the bottom and the top keeps the ratio equivalent. So when we multiply the top number, 2 times 2.5, we find that the enlarged photo is 5 inches tall. So if we were to just visualize this more, and we had our actual photo, and then we drew out the dimensions for the enlarged photo, kind of gives you a visual of how the proportions will stay the same even though it's an enlarged photo. So writing it out, we would say that 2 over 3 is the same as 5 over 7.5. Here's another example. Ms. Khatib wanted a miniature scale model of her longboard. Her board is 153 centimeters long and 34 centimeters wide. How wide is the miniature board if its length is 9 centimeters? So the first step is we need the ratio for the actual item. So we'll pull that information from our question. So we have our length and we have the width from the question for the actual board. Our next step is we need the scale model ratio, or what are we jumping to? And one piece of information is still in the question, so the length of the model board is 9 centimeters long. And once we have that information, we just solve the proportion. This time, going from 153 to 9, we need to divide by a scale factor. So working it out on the side, 153 divided by 9 will give you the number that you want to divide by, which is 17. So 153 divided by 17 is 9, and we'll do the same thing to the bottom. 34 divided by 17 will give us the width of the model board, and that number is going to be 2. So we have our ratio for the scale model, and we can actually measure a little scale model. And always write your answer as a sentence. So the miniature board is 2 centimeters wide. All right, make sure that you are having fun as you do your math, and remember that the more practice you get, the easier it becomes. All right, thank you for watching.